Trump to surrender in Georgia on Thursday to face racketeering charges. Donald Trump said he will turn himself in on Thursday, August 24th, in Georgia to face racketeering and other charges stemming from his bid to overturn the 2020 elections. Writing on his platform Truth Social on Monday, Trump said that he would be arrested by radical left District Attorney Fani Willis, the Georgia official who brought the year's fourth indictment against the former president. The judge in the case earlier approved a US $200,000 bond for Trump in the racketeering case filed against him in the southern state. Trump and the 18 other co-defendants in the landmark case have until noon on Friday to turn themselves into the authorities in Georgia to be booked. In his post, Trump said Willis is acting in strict coordination with crooked Joe Biden's DOJ. It is about election interference. I think many people can obviously see that this is election interference. The only question is, why isn't anybody actually fighting back or doing anything about this? Let's wait and see how this situation plays out in the long run. 5 children rescued from hanging Pakistan cable car, military says. 5 out of 7 stranded children and their teacher were rescued in Pakistan after being trapped in a cable car suspended over a ravine. The cable car had snagged, leaving it hanging at an angle about 275 meters above ground. A helicopter rescue operation was initially underway but was called off due to nightfall. Floodlights were set up and the ground-based rescue operation continued for 12 hours. Cable crossing experts from the military were dispatched to the area to transfer the children one by one onto a small platform along the cable. Local community members with rescue experience also assisted. The situation was complicated by gusty winds. The rescue efforts gripped the nation with citizens closely following the progress. Let's hope they manage to save all 7 children and the teacher. Hopefully no one gets hurt in this process. Greece discovered 18 charred bodies as southern Europe wildfires spread. A series of devastating wildfires have ravaged parts of southern Europe amid a severe heat wave, resulting in casualties and evacuations. In northeastern Greece, 18 charred bodies were discovered in a remote village where wildfires had been raging. Investigations are ongoing to determine if these victims were migrants, as the region is a popular route for migrants crossing from Turkey. Spain, Italy and Portugal also face intense wildfires, exacerbated by hot and dry weather and windy conditions. Temperatures shot above 40 degrees Celsius in many areas, prompting red alert in several countries. The heat wave follows July's record-breaking temperatures and comes after earlier fires in Greece and Spain. Meanwhile, Hawaii, Canada and other parts of the world have also battled deadly fires amid extreme weather events. Efforts to contain the blaze have been complicated by gale-force winds and the situation remains critical. Looks like the El Nino that is taking place around the world seems to be affecting not just 1 or 2 countries but many countries in the northern hemisphere. Please stay safe and try to keep up with your local news and local weather news to see if there's any changes in the current weather patterns. Former London police officer jailed for 16 years for rape. Former London police officer Adam Proven, 44, has been sentenced to 16 years in prison for multiple counts of rape against a 16-year-old girl and a female police officer over an 8-year period. The case has further eroded public trust in the Metropolitan Police. Louisa Rolfs, Assistant Commissioner at the Metropolitan Police, expressed shock and revulsion at Proven's actions, highlighting his abuse of authority to gain the victim's trust. These offences were committed while Proven was an active police officer. The force is now scrutinising Proven's history within the police and considering if earlier intervention was possible. This comes as the Metropolitan Police faces mounting pressure to reform, following an independent review that exposed institutional racism, misogyny and lack of self-policing within the force. If you ask me, 16 years is not enough. He should get life in prison or he should never be let into the public ever again. Abusing his position as a police officer is just unacceptable by any standards. India says inflation pressures warrant government central bank vigilance. Rising inflation in India, attributed to global uncertainties and local disruptions, demand heightened attention from both the government and the Reserve Bank of India, as stated in the Finance Ministry's monthly economic report. Retail inflation hitting a 15-month peak in July due to surging vegetable and cereal prices underscored the urgency. While the government anticipated temporary inflation due to global turmoil and domestic challenges, it expects the pressure to ease soon, especially in food items, citing agricultural sectors' steady performance and increased market arrivals. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi seeks a third term in an upcoming national election, controlling inflation, particularly food, becomes crucial. India is also grappling with historic low rainfalls in August, attributed partially to El Nino patterns, prompting measures like export duties on onions and previous bans on rice and wheat exports. If the country that produces rice is having food inflation or is facing an inflation problem, the rest of the world should start paying attention very closely, because this doesn't seem like it's going to go away anytime soon. Chinese activist Quan Pong fled to South Korea on a jet ski. A Chinese rights activist suspected to be Quan Pong was arrested in South Korea after attempting an audacious escape on a jet ski across the Yellow Sea. The man, reportedly a critic of Chinese President Xi Jinping, travelled about 300 kilometers using binoculars and a compass but got stuck near Incheon. He towed a full barrel and called for help when he encountered trouble. The Coast Guard detained him for attempting to smuggle himself into the city. The Chinese embassy in Seoul has not commented. Beijing's increased use of exit bans to prevent activists from leaving China has made escape difficult. Kwon, having faced surveillance and prosecution, is considered seeking refuge status in South Korea or another country. I hope he gets this refuge status by some country, because if he goes back to China, he's not going to make it back alive. And that is a guarantee. The stock market has a real problem. Stocks are facing a significant yield issue, particularly a real yield problem, where rising real yields adjusted for inflation are causing concern. The yield on 10-year TIPS Treasury inflation protected securities rose above the 2.2%, reflecting a stronger economy and higher policy rates relative to inflation. This shift is linked to economic narrative of a robust US economy during the summer, marked by a strong labor market, rising wages, and ongoing consumer spending. Rising real yields combined with increased nominal treasury yields signify a fundamental change in the US economy and a departure from previously low interest rates environment. This situation has led to stock market worries, as higher interest rates generally result in lower stock prices due to increased pressures on price to earnings (PE) multiples. Notably, the FANG tech stocks have experienced greater declines, exemplified by the Nasdaq's 107% drop. This article in itself is riddled with contradictions in itself. By saying that the economy is stronger but the Nasdaq has dropped by 7% is something that is very hard to digest, but this is how manipulation and number fudging works. You basically just gaslight everyone into thinking everything is fine, and you follow China's brilliant footsteps of fudging the numbers so that nobody knows actually what's actually going on. Therefore, you just tell everyone that everything's looking good and employment is up and wages are up, despite the fact everyone is struggling to make ends meet and almost every company is laying off their employees. So, by the looks of it, right now, even the world's biggest economy, the United States, seems to be fudging their numbers, but nobody's talking about it. Everyone thinks everything's fine and dandy, so we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out, considering the election period is just a year away. And that obviously plays a big role into how numbers are being fudged, because the current sitting president has to look good. And the only way to look good is to make sure the economy looks good, quote unquote. And how do you make the economy look good when actually it's not looking good? You fudge the numbers. So that's what we got here. Privacy breach at Friend.tech, wallet addresses and usernames of 101,000 users exposed. Friend.tech, a social network platform built on Coinbase's base layer 2 network, has suffered a major privacy breach involving 101,000 users. Bentech, a Yearn-financed DeFi project contributor, revealed scrap data on GitHub exposing sensitive user details, including wallet addresses and Twitter usernames. Users had unknowingly granted Friend.tech posting permission. The breach, initially discovered by Spot on-chain analysts, stemmed from an API leak. Friend.tech downplayed the incident, claiming the information was accessible through their API. However, concerns arose due to users potentially granting excessive permissions. Despite this, Friends.tech popularity has grown significantly, attracting notable users and generating substantial protocol fees. Developed by Racer, the project aims to tokenize social network and enable influencers to earn royalties from trading fees while fostering connections with the crypto industry. Well, this looks like it's just going to be another scam in the long run, so in my opinion, stay away from Friend.tech and keep your money safe. And if you're going to buy any cryptocurrency, just stick with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the proven and tested cryptocurrency out there. Hold your own private keys and stay safe out there. Everyone's trying to steal your money, everyone's trying to scam you, because nothing is looking good in the economy and everyone's trying very hard to get everyone else's hard-earned money. So stay safe and be vigilant. Thank you for listening to the end of this video. I'll see you again tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you.